You know something, Reed? I'm going to tell you what. You're taking green to the next level this year.
Gotta do it. This is Rita G, and you're in the clinch with Chuck and D.
I know who that was.
Who was?
Flashing lights.
That's what's up. Yeah. Welcome to InDaClinch with Chuck and D. I'm Chuck.
And I'm Mr. Womp 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 Womp. Day is. Hey, that's old school rap, dog. That's like No Limit back in like the mid-90s, man.
Yeah, there was no limit.
No limit.
All right, man, we're going to break down the UFC 127 fight card. It's coming up this Saturday. Some exciting fights on the card. I mean, a few fights just kind of seem thrown together. Pretty typical of the UFC, just kind of tossing a couple of weird people together just to see what happens.
I'm Joe Silva, man.
I mean, Joe Silva, like, I bet you he just, like, he throws shit up on a wall and just sees what sticks. And then he's like, okay, we'll go with that.
I bet you, like, if you walked into his office, he probably has, like, these yellow strings onto, like, tacks, going from, like, fighter to fighter and stuff, like, mapping out, mind mapping and stuff.
Y'all need
For anybody who don't know what mind mapping is, go back to kindergarten where they're teaching it now. So.
Oh, man. Anyways, so this is the Penn Fitch fight card.
It's my Muppet baby dance. You know, like, if you ever... I'm sorry, man. Let's go.
Did you bring your helmet? You're real special today.
Why do Muppets dance like this?
Maybe we should put a poll out to all of our fans and ask them why Muppets dance like that.
Oh, why is D dancing like this?
All right, so the first fight we're going to look at is Pearson and Fisher. This is going to be a really tough fight. Probably one of the better fights of the night.
Yeah, and it is going to be a good fight, good throwdown fight.
It's a toss-up, man.
I don't think Spencer Fisher has a lot left in his tank, though, either. I mean, you can only have so much scar tissue left on your face.
I mean, it's like he left Fort Worth, that's the beginning of his career, on his way to Dallas, and he's probably stuck like about. Never mind, that's not working.
No, it didn't. Let's move on.
All right. Anyways, Pearson or Fisher?
I'm going with Pearson. I'm going
with Pearson on that. Yeah. The next fight is Chris Lights Out Lytle. I don't know how this dude is still around because we just did a show last year where I said he was on his way out.
You know what? He must have watched the show because he's been pulling fights out of his ass.
Man, that would be nice if he watched the show.
It would be nice. It would be funny.
I doubt it.
Because he has a picture of you like on his dashboard. Like every
I'm his motivation.
Every guy that he sees is like, nah, that ain't that motivation.
Against Ebersol, who Ebersol looks like he grew up around your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I think he did. Actually from the same county. So
Brian Ebersol.
See, he has a lot of fights under his belt too, man. He's 62 fights total.
It reminds me of
I mean, and he's only 30, 31, maybe. 31 if he's 31.
Well, he's born the same year as you.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a lot of fights to have under your belt, at that age. It's kind of like Melvin Gillard, the amount of fights that he has under his belt. So, this guy's a proven veteran. I mean, and that's not taking anything away from Chris Lytle either.
That being said, this is his first fight in the UFC.
That can always be sketchy.
It's one of the biggest mats to fight on in mixed martial arts.
Why? If I was coming into the UFC as my first fight, I would want to fight a seasoned veteran like Chris Lytle.
You would want?
I would not.
No.
Because that's like, it's like, man, you lost your first fight in the UFC, but hey, it was against Chris Lights Out Lytle, though. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he likes to bang.
Mm-hmm.
He's a banger.
Mm-hmm.
Lido likes to bang too, but Lido can take it to the ground and
He can.
submit anybody.
He can.
Black belt in jiu-jitsu. So I'm going Chris Lido.
I'm going with Lido too.
All right, man. This is by far probably one of my favorite fights on this card. George Sotiropoulos versus Seaver. Dennis Seaver.
Dennis Seaver is a world-renowned kickboxer.
Monster.
He is. Did you see that like spinning heel kick he
Yeah.
did? I mean, the dude is a beast. Especially like he's a smaller version of Pat Berry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to like the leg kicks and everything. I think this is gonna be fight of the night.
I agree.
I'm calling it fight of the night.
George Sotiropoulos and Dennis Seaver, fight of the night, easily.
155, dude. 155 is the most stacked division in MMA, and I'm talking outside the UFC, because this 155 and Strikeforce is even as deep as it is in UFC.
Yeah, I don't know if they're as talented as the UFC is right
Well,
now.
the
UFC just absorbed all of the WEC.
Right,
so.
that's true, and that is true, and you got and Bellator is even coming up at 155 as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, and not to take away anything from like Gilbert Melendez is a great 155 champion in Strikeforce, and I think the talent pool is not as deep, but it's as worthy as it is in the UFC. With that being said, I'm not going to pass up on Sotiropoulos winning this.
The reach advantage.
The guy is on a mission.
Yep.
He's on a mission, and anybody who's he has ran through really good talent in the UFC, and it's scary to see how good this guy is. He's pretty much trained all over the U.S. as far as like his jiu-jitsu and everything goes, and so I'm going with Sotiropoulos.
I'm going with George Sotiropoulos as well. I don't know. George Sotiropoulos is known for taking fights a distance. I think he's going to take Seaver into some deep water and wear him out. All right. Here we go again. Michael Bisping is back on a fight card. Why? We wonder the same thing. Are there even... Do you think that there's even Michael Bisping fans anymore?
Yeah, in England somewhere. His parents. His relatives.
Well, in that case... Be prepared, because if this dude loses to Jorge, I'm as old as dirt, Conquistador Rivera,
I think he's going to lose.
pack your bags, Michael, because you're going to be at home for a long time.
Jorge Rivera is no punk, first of all.
He ain't no punk.
And he has knockout power.
You got to be pretty tough to have a woman tattooed on your chest.
I think that's his wife, man.
Well, wife, woman? She's a woman, isn't she?
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, this don't offend the man like that.
I got a wife.
I'm just saying.
Tattooed on my body.
Well, you don't know how some people sensitive are. He looks like he'll be sensitive about that too. Like, you talking about my
Catch
wife?
a case.
You talking about my wife?
I didn't even say nothing bad about his wife.
He's gonna have your picture on his dashboard as well, driving around town looking for you. So.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to provide motivation to UFC fighters. I'm gonna add that to my resume.
Oh, okay.
Man, Jorge Rivera, man, he ain't no punk, and he can throw with the best of them.
Mm-hmm.
He can throw with the best of them. A well-rounded fighter. I mean, he
has really good striking.
Right.
Really good striking. So,
Michael Bisping, to me, still overrated. Still hasn't really, done the whole "I'm gonna knock you out" and lived up to the hype thing.
He doesn't have a jaw even.
And he's only 2 fights removed from the worst knockout of his life.
I think Jorge's winning this fight.
I'm gonna go with Jorge Rivera just because I don't like Michael Bisping. That brings us to the coup d'etat, the finale. BJ Penn, 170-pound BJ Penn versus John Fitch. Now I know you're having trouble.
I'm torn, man. I'm torn.
I mean,
torn.
The fact that the guy's a Boilermaker.
It's 3 Hoosiers on this card: Chris Lido, Ebersol, and John Fitch, which is exciting. First of all, shouts out to Indiana, my home state.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't get mad.
I wish I knew some fighters that were from California
Yeah,
because I'd shout them out. Chuck's from California.
Yeah, so
He don't fight anymore. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. Look, hey, BJ Penn is a dangerous fighter at 155 pounds. At 170 pounds, if your name is Matt Hughes, BJ Penn is a very dangerous fighter. But at
that's hilarious.
But BJ Penn is not the same BJ Penn at 170 that he is at 155.
Well, true. That is very true.
He don't even look like the same fighter.
I will say this. I think he's more deadly at 170 than he is at 155. I mean,
Reason being why?
Dude, because mind you, title holder in both divisions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. If your name was
and-
Matt Hughes, that would mean something.
Well, dude, I mean, how many people has ran through Matt Hughes like he ran through Matt Hughes?
I'm not taking anything away from
I think you are, because you're a Matt Hughes lover.
No, I do.
You
like
got Matt Hughes tattooed on your chest.
Why are you looking in my window?
You showed everybody when you were drunk. You don't remember?
I do not have Matt Hughes tattooed on my chest.
It's right. It's on his back. He has a tramp stamp of Matt Hughes.
Well, if that's the case, you got a tramp stamp of BJ Penn.
That's cool.
BJ Penn lover.
BJ is much cooler than Matt Hughes.
Yeah, because his first name is BJ.
Yeah, Baby J.
Yeah, blowjob. Anyways, look, I'm gonna tell you how this fight is gonna go down. In my opinion,
Okay.
I mean, BJ Penn is a tough dude, but John Fitch, man, is on another level, man. That guy, just general. Look, octagon control, reach.
He has reach. BJ Penn does really well against wrestlers. BJ Penn, I think has never been taken down by a wrestler in the UFC.
And he's never faced a wrestler that has guerrilla jiu-jitsu.
And I take that back. Other than GSP. GSP manhandled him. But
John Fitch went 5 rounds with GSP.
he did.
And still deserves he deserves a title shot before anybody else.
Well, the winner of this fight is getting a title shot.
I don't want to see BJ Penn GSP 3.
I do.
For what?
Cause I just want to see somebody knock GSP head off.
It ain't. I'm gonna tell you when GSP is gonna get knocked out, and when all these GSP fans get their wish, and GSP moves up to 185.
They don't want to see that.
No, they think they do, but they really don't. They don't know what's good for them.
Okay.
Because when that happens, I'll tell you something right now. The Spider's going to end that. He's going to take care of that. I promise you.
He will.
I promise you. All right. So I'm going with John Fitch. Are you going to make a decision, or are you going to just let it ride out?
I'm gonna go with BJ.
Anyways,
I know you. What?
Look, there was at the end of the last pay-per-view event for the UFC, there was a huge announcement made that we need to talk about real quickly before we run out of time, and that is the fact that John Bones Jones is getting a title shot at Shogun.
You know, I'm happy that he's getting a title shot, but I'm worried in the same sense. Because Shogun has been known to destroy dudes. And more so anybody that's like a striker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he's so much more than a striker.
Well,
Early prediction.
Dude, you put me there already?
Early prediction.
I'm going to go...
Go ahead, you first.
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to just say... this is preliminary. This is before I really read down into it. I'm going with Loza.
You know,
That's my decision. If you missed it, oh well.
I'm going with John Bones Jones. Look, big shout out to Rita G. Check her out at RitaGoesGreen.com. Thank you for doing our intro for us, Rita.
Flashing lights.
Until next time, I'm Chuck.
And I'm D.
And you were in the Clinch.